Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a really quick video for you because I get asked a lot of questions on how to do the Pareto chart, and I want to make sure you guys understand what you're doing. So what I have up here is just, I have taken the spreadsheet that you were given and I populated some categories of responses. Now don't think in any way that these are correct. I just threw some data in there so that we'd have something to work with and something to play around with. Okay, so please don't use those as being the correct categories. Now for the Pareto chart, what I'm asking you to do is to give me the totals for the category of response. We don't want the cause. We don't want this. We want what is here. So we need two columns of data. And what I would suggest you do is to come over here and grab these two columns of data, the total number of responses, and then the category of response. I would suggest copying them, come on over and put them in a brand new sheet on in your workbook. I would suggest that we do that. Okay, so that's step one. I would also suggest we get rid of this extra line here because we really don't need that when it comes to creating our chart. Now, before we get too carried away, we have to add these categories up. You know, I see there's manpower and manpower and manpower. We have to add these up so that we have one value for each of those 5 category responses. So I'm going to show you some things that maybe you were unfamiliar with. So what we want, a couple of things in Excel. First of all, we want each of these categories. We're going to create over here on the side in column C, we're going to create unique values for each one of these. Now, I already know we have 5 of them, but let's go ahead and use a formula to do that, which we can do. It's called unique. We start our formulas with an equal sign, unique, pardon me, let me spell that correctly, and then an open parentheses. And we're going to come over here and we want to get a unique value from this entire range right here, and we're going to go parentheses to close that, and look at what we end up getting. Now we've got manpower, other, materials, procedures, and equipment. It came over and got each unique category of response that was here, and that's a great way for you to check and see if you fat-fingered something when you put in the category. Maybe you misspelled procedures or materials or something. This is a good way for you to do that because now we're over and we have a unique one for each. Now over in column D, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another function, and this one is called sum if. Remember, sum adds together, and what we're going to do is we're going to sum if. So let's start with, obviously, we start with an equals. We type sum if, open parentheses. Now, the first thing it wants is the range. We're going to sum over here, range, all the way down, and a comma, with this value right here, and another comma, and then the sum range is over here. Now let me get this in, and then I'll tell you what these mean. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the category of response, and we're going to sum if a value in the category response equals our criteria, which is manpower. So if there is a value of in category of response that equals manpower, then we are going to grab the number of responses and we're going to add them all together. Okay, so let me put a closing parentheses, hit enter, and notice that we came up with 514. So coming over here to manpower, there are 514 total responses in the category of manpower up and down. Now, I think you guys all know that you can come over here, grab this, click, hold, drag it down. And now what you have done is you've copied this formula down, and it has kept the relativity of that formula as it's copied the formula down. So we have 302 responses for procedures, 21 for materials, 570 for other, and 266 for equipment. Now, one thing I always like to do is I always like to make sure that these numbers, the summed numbers, match our total number of responses. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit, I'm going to come back to the home tab. I'm going to hit auto sum and hit enter, and I have 1673. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to auto sum the total here, hit enter, and I have 1673. So I know that I have properly summed all of these values into category values here. Now that I have the categories, this is real simple for me to do a Pareto chart. And now it's real simple for me to figure out what was the largest of this. So I'm going to click, hold, and select both my category and my totals, and I'm going to come to insert. I'm going to come over here to insert statistic chart, and I'm going to choose the second one, and there we go. Now we know that other and manpower and procedures and equipment and materials in this order are how our chart. And of course you want to add your chart title and you want to do some other things there. I hope this was helpful. It was really quick. You may need to watch it a couple times, but I hope this was helpful. Take care.